Hello everyone, today we will continue our journey to learn programming. In our first lesson, we learned about using the print component and how to print a message on the screen, how to use the new line feature. Also, we learned about printing expressions. In the second lesson, we learned about controlling the order of our steps using comments and some of the features provided by the environment. Today we will learn about an important concept in programming. In programming, each program could be a way to transform some input to a specific output by doing some processing. When we think in our software based on this idea, we see that we have to learn what's the input that we expect for our program and what we must do during the process stage to get a specific output that we need from our program. In our previous lessons, we learned how to do some processing like printing an expression, and the expression itself is a mix between operators and values, like summing some numbers. But we learned how to do this and how to see some output on the screen. Today we want to do another thing. We want to get some input from the user. To get input, we would like to determine what we need from the user as input, what will be the type of this input. Is it a string or is it a number? We will see what we will do. So, and ask the user to enter some value. For example, press the letter B and select print text component and ask the user, for example, to enter your name like this. And we want to get the username in a variable. We will use the component get input like this. So when we open this component, automatically we see a specific variable name. This means that when the user type a string, this string will be saved in this variable. To understand about variables, our computer contains like a CPU, which is used for processing, central processing unit, and it contains memory to store information, and it contains also input-output devices. With respect to the CPU, it contains some subcomponents like the arithmetic logic unit and the control unit and some registers, which is like a way to store information, a little number of information like based on the CPU structure. And this register is used by the processor to process things. Memory is used for storing our data, and between the processor and the memory we can see like a cache memory and so on. Now, when we type something using an input device like the keyboard, the computer needs to store this information and process it. So we will store the input in a variable. The variable is just a name inside our program that refer to some data in the memory. So when we talk about variables, we talk about a name. This name refers to some memory or a value. This value could be something like a string, a number, whatever. So when we return to our program and the user enter some name, the name will some data, the data will be stored in the C input variable. I will just store this data in a variable called name and click OK. When we do this, after printing this message, we can type the data. Now I would like to print like hello message to the user, so I will use the print component again and I will type like hello like this, But after this message, I want to see the value entered by the user. So I will use an expression. By using expression, we need a literal. So I will write a literal like this. Then I will use the plus operator and I will type the name, which is the variable used, and I will click OK. Now, if we run this program, we see now this message, enter your name. I will type somebody. We see this. We see this message, enter your name, and we will type, for example, my name is. Okay, if we run this using the debug operation, we can see this, enter your name like someone. Hello, someone. What if we want to do something different? What if we want to sum a group of numbers? Instead of getting a string, we need to get a number. So let us learn something about the environment. While we doing this, we will add some new line, just like a comment, and we can type some comment like a program to sum two numbers, and we will ask the user to enter the first number, and using get input we will store this number in variable called num1, and we click convert, we check convert to number, and then we can print enter the second number like this. I prefer to. So, and now using get input we can get this in number 2, and after that I would like to print the sum of the program of the two numbers, so we will print sum plus, and I want to sum number 1 and number 2. If I wrote them like number 1 plus number 2, then I will see them as a string. Let us see this output, then we will modify this to be correct. And I want an expression like this. Okay, let us run. Enter your name, nobody. Enter first number 10. Enter second number 20. We see 10 and 20 is just like a string merged together. But I want them to be arithmetic or numeric, so I can sum them. I will just group them together like this. The rule here is what comes first determines the type of our expression. If string comes first, anything will come using the plus operator after the string will be string. So I want to change this here, and I want to sum numbers. So I group them together and I start from a number, so what comes will be a number. So here we sum some numbers together. Okay, now we can run this. Enter your name like nobody. What is your first number? It will be like 10. The second number 20, and now we have the sum. We can get a separator like this here. So we learned how to get some input from the user, how to store this input inside a variable. This input could be a string or could be a number. So this is enough for this lesson, and we'll see you in next lesson. Thank you very much.